Today is a sad day, ladies and gentlemen, because this footage is going to be the last footage that I film in this room because I'm moving this week. I'm not moving super far away, just a few miles away, but I had a lot of good times in this room, so it's a little bit sad. Now, that being said, I kind of prepared. I have to be, getting everything ready, so I filmed a video while I was at VidCon in my hotel room talking about the aftermath and whatnot. So I just wanted to give this introduction and then show that video. But before I get into that, I want to just give a shout out to my sponsor, Squarespace.com. If you guys need a website, you got to go to Squarespace because that's where you can get it done easily and smoothly. If you're not that savvy about making websites, they already have all these awesome templates on there that you can choose from. You can easily select a domain name, or if you already have one, you can transfer it over there too and still get things done on there. If you need a merch store, which I know a lot of you guys are content creators and you need a merch store because you have merch, you can build it on there. They have a bunch of marketing tools, a bunch of strategy, just everything. They call it all-in-one because it really is all-in-one. And if you want to do a little trial, you can check out the stuff out there for free. But then if you want to make your first purchase, you can go to squarespace.com/someblackguy and your first purchase will be 10% off. Now without further ado, here is the footage that I filmed while I was at the hotel. Enjoy! What's going on, guys? Mythcon is over. It's the next day and I just want to give a rundown of everything because it's been really interesting. This has been probably one of the most tiring weeks I've had in a long time. A lot of sleepless nights. I've been dealing with so much stuff behind the scenes. I mentioned in my previous video that I'm gonna be moving and just trying to prepare for everything and getting videos done, and it's just even coming here and drinking with a bunch of people and not sleeping enough, and it's just been absolutely nuts. But it was all worth it though. It was all good. So Mythcon went down yesterday. It was Saturday and it was chill. I was to be honest, when it came to my time to do my panel, I was like kind of not excited to do it because most people know me, like I'm not a very serious person. And the girl Marissa that I was gonna be having a discussion with, like, activism and being very serious, that's her life, that's what she does. And so I was kind of like, all right, I'm not really, what am I gonna do? I should probably try to take things seriously, but at the same time, let people know like where I stand, and where I stand is mostly just being chill. Like I opened up saying something along the lines of, I'm just here for the memes or something like that. I don't remember exactly what I said, but my buddy Vox reminded me by like quoting it or something. I'm like, oh yeah, I did say that. Kind of silly, but it was good though. I wasn't 100% sure about my talk and how it went because there was times where she was like talking for a long time, maybe like 3 minutes at a time or something, and we had nothing to write down. Like there was no writing anything down, so I couldn't just like take notes and then be able to just talk about every single point she made. I would just try to remember the most prominent things that she said, and usually maybe just pick 2 different things and try to hold on to that and just go from there. And one thing that was what made the discussion be a hell of a lot more in my favor is because a lot of people knew who I was in the audience and already kind of agreed with my points more. So there was like a lot of applause and all that stuff, and it's not like I was never trying to look for one-uppers or sound bites or whatever. I was never trying to embarrass her. And from what people were telling me, they were saying that like, oh, she somewhat embarrassed herself by when she opened up saying something along the lines of the way like to fix the problems in America. It's all about white supremacy, right? And we're probably gonna need like a revolution of some sort. She was saying something like that that's really extreme, but at the same time she was saying that, that she's not like an angry black woman, that stereotype, like it's an ugly stereotype, and she didn't come off as angry or anything like that, but the words were pretty fucking angry because wanting a revolution, wanting violence, wanting blood to solve your issues, is a little extreme because I don't think, and I think most people here, the reason why we're at Mythcon, we want to have discussions and dialogue. If we wanted violence and revolutions, we wouldn't be here coming together trying to talk. So it's kind of like why are you here if that's what you're seeking? Because nobody here really wants that. Maybe a very small, probably less than 1% of the people there want that, but it's like you're kind of speaking to people who are completely against that. And essentially it was already, that kind of set the tone from there. And every once in a while she made like some decent points, because I don't disagree with everything she says. I just disagree with the way that she wants to go about things, and how she kind of like, I use the words, indoctrinate the people that she speaks to kind of having that victimhood mentality and thinking that woe is me, where, I look at the grand scheme of things. I'm always on trying to be looking like expand my social bubble and see that I'm not oppressed, I'm not struggling. I'm doing pretty well for myself, and a lot of people in the United States, even some people that are living below the poverty line, is not the worst thing in the world. And I'm not trying to make excuses like, oh, it's fine, we can always do better, but it isn't the end of the world. I've been at the lowest lows. At the lowest lows, I was still okay. I've even, I've been dirt poor before, let's just say, and I've picked myself up from there. And because of the resources that were around me, so I was never just completely in dire doom. And something that we did kind of butt heads about was that I put that on myself for the choices that I made, and she puts the choices not on herself but on like white supremacy or something like this system. A lot of these things that she's been feeling and a lot of her experiences and negative stuff is because of the stuff surrounding her, because the system is designed to do shit like this to her. And her and other people that think like her, they all discuss that, and then like I said, that indoctrination starts to take hold of more people, and we see it happening. We see it happening in like college campuses and whatnot. It's happening so much, and so that was something that I didn't get to touch on as much, because you never know how things are gonna go. You have an hour to talk. You think that it's gonna be, that's so long to talk, but then the time goes by so quickly. It went by so fast. It was like, oh, I guess this is over. And at the end of the day, nobody was really gonna change their mind. Nobody nudged, but I think it was just kind of nice to have this discussion where when it was time for the Q&A, like there was this one black dude that showed up, and I was like, he was in his construction stuff, his uniform. And I was like, all right, did this guy just come from like a lunch break, or just get off work? Or was he just showing up here to be like the working man guy, like this is me, this is my, when you see people and like, oh, like I'm the president's in town and now it's time for the Q&A, and then there's a construction worker comes up, that cliche. But no, the guy seemed pretty genuine, and it was cool. Like he appreciated some of the stuff that we said. Guy watches some of my stuff, and there was a lot of good questions. And there was this one girl that went off on Marissa. And when Mythcon, when the guys put the footage up, you gotta see it, because it's just like, everybody was saying that like, wow, you really kept your composure, good job for like not being like, an idiot or something, or losing your shit or something. And I was like, nah, man, like I've been doing this for quite a while now. Like, say, we've heard so many ridiculous things. I've heard so many ridiculous things. It's not the end of the world anymore. I don't get very frustrated when I hear some like wacky ideals or something. Like sometimes I hear people say, how do you deal with this stuff all the time? How are you always able to just be chill when you see like some of the craziest stuff? How are you not ripping your hair out and stuff? And I'm like, cause I've seen it. Once you start to become like desensitized to it, and then you can just like meme it and have a good time. And that's kind of where I'm at. That's where the level I'm at, and that's kind of the level that I want other people to be in. So my experience right there was chill, my panel. And there were some other good panels that a lot of other people had, and I'm sure they're gonna tell you about that stuff. But it got interesting because as I did the live stream, there was the bomb threat, and that was weird. We all had to go across the street, and some troll was being an asshole, of course. And it was really interesting because the authorities pulled me aside, and they were like, hey, the person who called in the bomb threat or whatever, the name attached to it, you said the name in your stream. And now, first of all, I was like, well, how did they figure that out so quickly? They must have some really good technology that picked something up. And number two, so we started kind of combing through my stream just a little bit to see if we could pinpoint when the name was said. And I assumed, oh, it had to have been like a super chat, like, because I'll read the people's names from a super chat. And I just went through the stream like not even like 20 minutes ago, and maybe I missed it, but I didn't hear any name. That was what they told me. So I was like, was that bad intel or something? But that was interesting because I thought like, oh, maybe I helped by streaming the person, the perpetrator or the suspect would kind of return to the scene of the crime and kind of putting their stamp on it or something. Because you know how a lot of people get caught that way. They run their mouths. They say, oh, I can't believe I did this, and don't tell anyone. Of course, that person's gonna tell everyone. They get people that are always in prison. They always say, man, if I just didn't like tell somebody, if I just would have kept my mouth shut. It happens all the time. So I don't know what's going on with that, but if the authorities need any other help, if anything else, even though I don't have anything, I just thought like they thought they had something, and obviously they have access to the stream too. So I don't think they need my help or they need to contact me in any way, shape, or form anymore. But there was some rumors going around because some people thought that like they were suspecting me or something because I was talking to them. And like some people were like, oh, did they think it was you or something? I'm like, what? No, like that's silly. Like that's so silly. Like why the hell would people? I don't know. There are crazy people. I was gonna say, why would somebody that's at the event like would want the event to shut down? But there are crazy people, so I get it. They have to kind of be cautious and examine every angle. But no, they told me specifically that I wasn't a suspect, which I'd be pretty fucking mad if I was. Are you serious, bro? Like really? But that's besides the point. The parties that we had at VidCon were dope. So many people just buying me so much alcohol, man. That was like way too much. I drank so much. I'm done. But Wisconsin and Milwaukee, they got a lot of pubs, they got a lot of breweries and stuff like that. They're known for their beer. And I went to this one bar last night, and I had these sliders, and they were the best fucking sliders I've ever had in my life. The beef was amazing. It was seasoned to perfection. I couldn't believe it. I'm actually gonna go get some more because I was just blown away with how fucking good it was. It was really that good. It sounds silly, but it was really that good. Loved it so much. But yeah, the last thing that I just wanted to mention is that I was absolutely blown away with how many people knew who I was and how many people came up to me, shook my hand, how many people wanted pictures, autographs, and all this stuff. Even after my panel, like I was still on stage for a little while and people were coming up and shaking my hand and stuff, and it was insane because it reminds me of like the stuff when, you know, rock stars, people being on stage, being in bands and stuff back in the day, like people coming up to you, want to shake hands, want pictures and stuff. And we had small experiences in VidCon, and I expected it to be like that. Like there's gonna be a handful of people that come up to you, shake your hand, blah, 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 this and that. But it was like, kept going. Even like at one of the parties, like a queue was forming. That was so fucking surreal. Like, because I've never, you know, I've jammed in bands before and had a little bit of recognition from that stuff. Obviously a little bit of recognition from this, and like I said, VidCon, and I expected it to be like around that time, but this was just like, a queue is forming. Like when you see people, you go to like a convention and then you sit down at your booth and then there's like a line forming. I was like, what the fuck? And I had to like try to hurry up the conversation so other people can like have some time too. And I was like, this is, what the fuck? So I always told people like, I like what I do with YouTube because the audience is growing, but like, there's so many people in the world that have no idea who the hell I am and that have nothing to do with that corner of YouTube. And so I can still go outside and chill. I can still dress like absolute trash and don't have to worry that, oh, somebody might come across me or something like that. It's super rare when somebody recognizes me, and I like it just like that. So it was a little strange to have that many people being like, you know, but it comes with the territory. So it's totally fine. You know, you're in the convention, and then that's where a lot of people, a lot of crossover, Sargon and all these people were there, and we all watch each other and stuff. So it makes sense, but I just kind of wasn't expecting that, and it's so humbling, so surreal. Like I can't really express that, and I appreciate all of you guys. It was so awesome meeting all of you, everyone there, everyone that appeared in the live stream, everybody that took pictures and stuff. Make sure you retweet them and stuff like that. I love seeing your guys' faces. It's really cool. I mean, everybody's a very cliche thing to say, like, oh, couldn't do this without you, but it's obviously true. It's like, if you guys weren't watching, this wouldn't be happening, you know? Like, so thank you guys. And I want to thank the event organizers. I want to thank, you know, Sean, Dimitri, and everybody for inviting me to Mythcon. That was awesome. You know, if any other things that are gonna go on, I'll consider doing it, because I thought maybe, you know, after a while I was kind of like, oh, I don't know if this is really my thing, just thinking about it, because I wanted to go more in a less serious direction. And so I'm like, I don't know if I want to do stuff like this anymore. But this was such a positive experience, and like the type of stuff that people were telling me, especially from my panel discussion, I was like, okay, maybe I will do more stuff like this. And sometimes when people invite me to speak at like colleges or whatever, maybe I will actually accept, because I've turned down quite a few things. But you know, I still live for the memes, but maybe there's a little bit of room for some serious shit too. You know, but that's it, guys. Just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of a rundown. You guys have a good day, good night, wherever you are, and I'll have some legit videos next week. A lot of shit's coming out, so take care.